Hi, today we're talking about webtoons again. So, I've read a lot of webtoons in my life, like a lot. And I have favorites and I have dislikes. Today we're not naming those dislikes though. We're naming the likes. So, first question, if you don't know what a webcomic is, webcomic or webtoon, it really doesn't matter how you word it. I think it's the same thing. Webcomics are comics published on a website or mobile app. They're just comics on the internet. Growing up, I was never really interested in comics in general at all. Obviously, when I was younger, there were no webcomics, but the age of the internet, kids, I discovered webcomics in 2018. I didn't even know they existed. And since then, I've read hundreds upon thousands of webcomics. And the thing is, like, nobody talks about it. When I say nobody, I mean like a very small amount of people on the internet. It's a very small community, but it's not really that talked about in outside of the webcomic community. I want to try to bring light to this world. So today I want to talk about all my favorite webcomics. These are not in order, so yeah, let's get started. Noisome. I think that's how you say it.
Noisome.
Yep, I love this webcomic. The first time I read it, it was on Tapas. I've read a couple times on this website, on my channel. Go watch those videos. I read this a long time ago, like probably when I first started reading webtoons. This has to be one of the most like thrilling. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I love horror. I love psychological thrillers. I just love those types of stories. Most of these webcomics are going to be thrillers. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that I am special and unique and quirky. This webtoon is very thrilling. It's so mysterious. Something about this is just like, I don't know how to explain it, which is my job here to do. This webcomic is just so like mysterious, and the more you read it, the more you like don't get it. Which is not a bad thing, always, like it keeps you wanting more. The art especially, like all of these webtoons I'm gonna mention have great art, but this one is just, there's something about black and white. Some of the panels are just ones that I can't forget. Like, for example, this panel has been stuck in my mind since I read this story 2 years ago. There is some dark themes, like there is talk about like suicide and depression and all of that in this webcomic. Now this story only has 2 characters, so you're reading about 2 people. I don't want to spoil anything because this story deserves like your full curiosity. It has 22 episodes on Tapas and it's all free to read. I was debating reading this story on my channel, but I wanted to save it. Everything about this story is just mysterious. That's all you could think of, and it's so dark. It's just top there. Moving on to my second favorite story. This next story is called Foul Smell. This one is a lot scarier than this one's a lot more like horror themed. It's about a boy who moves into this very strange apartment that has the weirdest aura about it. Like there's like beings that live in this apartment that try to help him solve this like mystery in this building, or like whatever malicious acts have been done in this building. And it's so unique because these beings look evil, but they're trying to help him. One day his friend disappears, and that's where it all basically starts. He gets involved with a couple people, including one police officer who has like a special power. Basically, he can see people's auras. Like he could see if somebody is like a murderer, he would know. Like, you know how auras have colors? He could see that. He tries to tell his colleagues about it, the higher ups, and nobody really believes him. The people in this building all of them have this building pretty much like collects the aura and the souls that have been lost. It's this character's job to pretty much prove that whatever is happening in this weird building is a crime. Like whatever is happening is a crime, and nobody believes him because there is no evidence. And that's what the story is basically about. It's just about these three characters who all have unique backstories. And again, the art is just... Okay, moving on to our next story. This story has to be one of my most favorite stories of all time. Like when I say all time, I mean all time. And when I tell you this is one of the best, most interesting stories I've ever read, I mean it. This story is about a 30-year-old man who pretty much worked his ass off for his entire life and was still looked down upon, like always. He lost his girlfriend, he lost his job, he didn't grow up with a dad. Like this guy just has been through some stuff. And eventually, right after he finds out that his girlfriend, or I forgot if it was his fiance, got a new partner, he thought that was enough and he commits suicide. And that's where the story starts. He meets death. And when I mean death, I don't mean like the devil or a demon, or he doesn't go to hell or heaven. He just goes to this state where he meets death. And pretty much death says to him, "You see me as a joke." Right before he dies, he says that death is pretty much like nothing. Like it's just whatever, you just die. So death itself gets pissed off. I'm assuming she puts him in different lives. He has to experience an excruciating death in each of these lives. I believe he's given like 13 tries, and each of these lives he's in a horrible person's body. He's always put in a situation where he's gonna die soon, like the title says. And this story is just so captivating. He keeps dying over and over and over again until he learns his lesson. It's such an interesting story. I love it so much. Like, I love this character. So those are my top 3 stories to read, and so underrated, especially the last one, and deserves a lot more like recognition, and I just love it so much. I love it. So you can go read them. So yeah, just give them a try and see if you like them. I'm gonna try to read more webcomics because, again, I feel like they're so underrated. Thanks for watching. Bye.